Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to this video. In this video, I want to show you how you could configure a Steam Deck as a Linux user. And this video will be a showcase showing the desktop mode. So you have the Steam Deck here, menu, let's go into the power and then go into switch to desktop. Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome to this video. I have the Steam Deck presented here on my screen. And actually I have it set under my monitor. I will show a picture of that. But for this demo I thought it was fun to just show you the whole Steam Deck in the desktop view. So in this video, well, I'm gonna show you, it's a showcase of how a Linux user could potentially set up their Steam Deck and then use it in the desktop mode. Of course, when you press the button on the left top side, then you will go into gaming mode. I will not show that now, but that's how it normally works. And let me just do a quick walkthrough, and I'll tell you a little bit about the options and the widgets, what you can configure. And yeah, let's dive straight into it. And I do have it plugged into my mouse and keyboard at this moment, and controlling it in that way. So let's go from left to right, so from top to bottom. First, of course, web browser. You can just easily, this is the Firefox is delivered. So I suggest set up settings sync to transfer your settings and your bookmarks and all that stuff based on a profile, but that's up to you if you want to do that. I regularly like to do that, to be honest. But here, so the first button is return to gaming mode. Before it was on my desktop, that's standard. And I don't like icons on my desktop. So what I did is desktop and wallpaper. I selected layout desktop, and then you need to apply, etc. And then it's just as a desktop, but if you have the folder view, then you can have the icons as well. So you can select a folder, any folder, you can display the contents of that folder you can display on the desktop. Of course, you can select the wallpaper and stuff. But for me, I have set up different wallpapers for different activities, and I will get to that in a minute. Alright, so this is return to gaming mode, desktop icons. So I moved that one to here. And to do that, I just added a shortcut here. Let me do configure. And this is a shortcut. Just the icon. And yeah, I basically created a shortcut to this command here. And I copied that from the existing icon. I put it in Notepad and copy pasted it to this new icon. To this new shortcut, I would say. And then I selected this icon. You can click and then browse to the icon. Home deck.local share plasma icons. Alright, that's how I recreated that there. Okay, next one is a clock. And it's always handy. So it's now set to quarter to, what is it? Quarter to 10. And that's actually the fuzzy clock. And that's a fun little thing. But you don't have enough space for the fuzzy clock. So digital clock. Boom. So that's and you click on it and you open up the calendar as well. So that works. Alright, so next is a small separator, a spacer. So go to edit mode again, here spacer, and it's 10 pixels, and here's another spacer, 10 pixels. Alright, and then next is the activities. So I actually didn't use activities before when I used Linux, but yeah, I think for Steam Deck in particular, it's very handy to have activities. Why? Because it's a small screen, and it's very, if you move around windows, it's difficult. So if I now have a task set to activity, it's easier to have that in my mind. So I don't want to do browsing, then I have the browser open here, some coding, then I can have this VS Code open. Yeah, not to do a whole lot of coding, but still, it's possible if you plug it into a separate monitor. You can do some coding, default, and yeah. So based on what I want to do, I have these the settings. Open up the settings panel. I have the activity set. All right. So you can define every activity you want. A default is the default one, and you just have one. But if you hit Windows Q, then you have the activities popping up here as well. And there's a little preview icon as well, what's going on there. And you can add new ones here. Browsing, coding, etc. And yeah, you can configure it what you want. Some extra options here for activities, but I grown to like the feature a lot, and I think I will use it in the future as well. So that's that. Go back to this one, and I've talked about the activities, about the spacer, and then some applets. So let me minimize this. So this is the network activity. This is one big widget. So right click, enter edit mode. You see me doing that a lot, but that's the easiest way to interact with the widgets on the panel. So you can see here the arrows, meaning you can move the widget. Like I just moved it now. Move it back. And if you don't want to have that widget, for example, if you want to move it to another panel, let's try that. See, that is a little bit difficult. You cannot move it to another panel in one go. I think in the past it used to work, but yeah, I moved it to the desktop. So the widget is now on the desktop, and I can take opportunity to show you the widgets then. This is the network activity. Download, upload. So I think it's fun, and this is like a blinking ring here. And the other ones showing HD activity, so writing, reading, and CPU total and memory. So these are but I don't have any text, but for me it's clear what it is, but you can configure, of course, the widgets. So go back into edit mode and see if I can drop it here again. That worked, so it's good. All right, so there are lots of other widgets. If you have enter edit mode again, and for example, configure. So here, then you have the appearance, and you can select the style. So let's say you want to configure that to text. You can do that and apply. Yeah, that's just this one, of course. I'm configuring the net one, so that is indeed like that. You can also do, for example, a line chart. It could also be interesting. So you see the overtime from left to right. It will show network activity. I think I like this one a lot. And you can also set the polling interval. Yeah, you can do no limit, and then it instantly updates. But I was thinking, well, you are on a handheld device, so why not give it some more time? So 0.5 seconds. Oops. Apply. So it doesn't pull all the time, maybe saves little resources. That's what I was thinking. And not every stat needs that kind of an interval, right? So for example, memory, you don't have to update that every millisecond, right? So you can set the configuration like you want. And oh yeah, what I was showing you. Enter edit mode. It's the easiest way to do it. Configure. And you can get new display styles. So you can, there are a couple, not a whole lot. So for example, Steampunk. I have that installed as well. You can do that. So let's say you want to have the Steampunk. I've downloaded it, and here it is. You can just apply it. And now you have your gauge. But as you can maybe see, it's a little bit yeah, it goes a little insane to say it like that. But maybe if you update it faster, let's see. Nah, no, this is not the way I want to show it. But still, there are maybe some other metrics you want to show in that way. But for now, I just keep it like this. So I like the blinking rings because it shows some like a sort of like a dashboard, right? So, all right. So that's it. Let's go to the next panel. If you're wondering, by the way, so I covered the whole panel now. If you want to add a panel, just right click. You can do add panel. You can do an empty panel like this, or you could add a panel and default panel. So, and normally it's here, but if you screw it up or yeah, make a mistake, you can easily revert back to a default panel. And if you want to remove the panel again, enter edit mode. This is the easiest, just remove the panel here as well. Remove this one as well, enter edit mode. More. Remove panel. Up. So, gone. So yeah, now you see you're in edit mode, you can do stuff. You see it by the blue lines. And then you can also add widgets and all the other options, and also choose a global theme. And you might be wondering, oh, it doesn't look like the default theme. That's true. Because the global theme, I set it to Breeze, at least Breeze Dark. And that's here, the Breeze. And normally it is the what I just showed, Vapor, but it is selected, but I set it to Breeze, and that's also why you see the transparency here. And I think that's very nice, and that's the default Plasma, so I kept it like that. It's also smart because if you have this open, let's say you drag the window, you see it now becomes opaque. So if you maximize a window, they both become opaque. And if you make it smaller, then it becomes transparent. Again, semi-transparent. All right, so I discussed the panels, how to configure and all that stuff. So this is the, similar to the default panel. I kept it like that. So this is the launcher menu. These are virtual desktops. I'm still on the fence if I want to keep it. Maybe I will remove it in the future because I used activities now. And let's say you have the virtual desktops as well. Then you have 16 or let's say 20 separate workspaces. I don't need that amount of workspaces, to be honest. So you can easily manage your Windows on a desktop mode. This makes more sense. But let's say you want to remove it. So per default, it's actually not showing because you don't have any virtual desktops by default. So by default, you just have to one. So and I created 2 rows now. So row 1, row 2. And that's why it has the widgets like a grid, and you can manage your windows. So let's say right click and move to desktop. You can move it to 3, and now it's here. And what you can also do is move it to every desktop, all desktops, or just one, etc. So, but you can also have, for example, this, show it in an activity. So I will show that in a minute. So I'm still a little bit on the fence about the virtual desktops. And that's it. And this is the task manager. And it's called icon only task manager, and that's the default one. So you can pin an application to the task manager. Sorry, this is already pinned. But you can also pin an icon based on activity. So this coding one, VS Code, it's not on all the activities, because if you go to browsing, then it's gone. If you go to coding again, it is there, and default not there. So based on activities, you can pin icons. So meaning in the future, maybe I will do that, but I'm not sure. So you can just have the icon specific to an activity. Sounds pretty cool, right? But yeah, it's not like you cannot launch an application on an activity, because if you have VS Code, Visual Studio Code, you can also launch the application here in browsing. So it's not like it limits you. I think you can, if you want, you can do window rules and stuff, but that's a little bit too in-depth. So, but it's quite flexible, I would say, still. Okay. So you can do alternatives. So let's go to edit mode again. And here I'm going to show alternatives. You can have the task manager. Let's switch to that. And it's similar, but if you launch, let me show, if you launch an application, let's do it like this. So like Windows used to work, right? I think Windows 7 used to work like this. Then you have the icons and the name of the program. You can also do that. It's also a fine way to do it. But the thing, the icons only task manager is way more, compact. Let's switch it again. Show the third option. Edit mode. Yeah, show alternatives. I clicked the wrong button. Window list. You can also do that. And now this is the window list. And like OS X used to have the icon here, right? I don't know, I haven't used it for years, but used to have that icon here. And then you have the programs, right? And select, you can, it's like a drop down now, so you can easily switch. If you want that, it's also fine to do that. So that's flexibility of Linux, right? So that you can, configure it how you want to use it. Not that the operating system subscribes how you should use it, but you're free to use it the way you want. So let's switch back. But there are some sane defaults delivered already with the OS Plasma. Yeah, this is Plasma Desktop, and it's quite flexible. All right, and let's go to edit mode again. Here, this is a margin separator. I think I will use that more because you have the normal, the white space separator, like spacer. And this is the margin separator. And this separates one widget from the other. And here you have the system tray. Let's right click, enter edit mode again. And what I want to show you here, this is also default, and what's default is scale with the panel height. Let's apply it so it's quite big icons. Also easier to tick on, of course, if you have just the Steam Deck screen, but I liked it small here in this case. So have it a little bit smaller, and you can select which entries you want to show always or always hidden, and also when shown when relevant. So let's say notifications, that's typical candidate of show when relevant. Let me put it back. So show when relevant. So when you have a notification, it will show the icon. Makes sense, right? But you can do that for each icon you can check. And you can also set shortcuts. So Control-Alt-Y, I set to battery and brightness, just to show you. So you have adjusted 3, and you could click on it, of course. So battery and brightness, and you can select the screen brightness. And that you don't see it now, but in my Steam Deck I see the screen changing. There's one bug. If you start in the desktop mode, the brightness is always at 100%. So that's a known issue. I looked it up because I was thinking, oh, that's very annoying. I basically want to retain the brightness level, but maybe they will fix it in the future. If you click here, then you have the whole thing. So all the status and notifications. You can also pin that if you would want that for some reason. But I don't want it pinned. And then you can easily select all the other things that are there. So Bluetooth, etc. Networks, display configuration, KDE Connect. And just, yeah, see what works for you, I would say, and make use of it. And that's the whole panel. So some other cool things. Let's start by showing you this one, KDE Connect. So no device, paired device unavailable. And if I have my mobile phone, and there I have the same app, it's also called KDE Connect. And the reason it doesn't show it's connected because it's a different Wi-Fi network. Let's reconnect to my my local network. There you go. So now my Pixel phone is connected. And then you have the app, and like I said, KDE Connect. And then you can do stuff. You can send files. You can send clipboard over. And you can, if you have a slideshow, for example, you can control the slideshow. Multimedia controls. You can also have a cursor. So now I have that, and you see the cursor on the screen. Left click, right click, you can do that. So pretty cool. You can control it. You have a touchpad now. And you can also do commands. So I've programmed 2 commands. One is lock screen, other is unlock screen. Let's do lock screen first, and then boom, it locks the screen. And if you tap unlock screen, it unlocks the screen again. So it's a fun way to have your Steam Deck controlled by your mobile phone. Pretty nice, right? So it's a free app, of course. It's an open source app. And I also always have it running on my phone in the background. So yeah, you can also use that if you have a laptop with KDE Plasma. You can also connect to the laptop, and yeah, it's a pretty nice little app, I would say. All right, so the cursor is yellow. Let's go show you a little bit about customization now. Let's go to settings, close that terminal, and then open up the settings. So you saw maybe a little effect. So yeah, you don't have to do that, but I thought it was nice and playful. Why not? But let's start with some other things. So the theme I discussed already. So the appearance. And if you go to the cursors, there you have the oxygen yellow. This is a thing. So Adwaita is the standard for GTK apps. If you, yeah, it's GNOME based, and you have Breeze, that's more for KDE Plasma. So these are the two different. The biggest difference is between these two, and this is the classic ones, very small. But I like yellow cursors, and I just installed a cursor here. So get new, oxygen, yellow. I think I installed that one, but it doesn't show it now. Anyway, you can select several color schemes and just click it, use it. And there is one thing, one bug, because now you see it's the black cursor. It's the Adwaita one. That's why I mentioned that. So this could annoy you. I must say. Okay, you can like look through that little minor detail, but yeah, if you have Chrome, it's a Flatpak for Chrome, and it stays yellow. So. Is that a reason to switch browser? I don't know. Maybe you prefer Chrome anyway, so I'll leave it up to you. Just know that's a bug with the Firefox, and I haven't seen it on other applications, to be honest. So seems to be Firefox related, or at least GTK. I don't know. At least I tried to change it a little bit. That didn't work, so decided to accept it for now. Or I could, of course, do Adwaita for everything. That could also be the easiest, so to have consistency there. But yeah, enough about cursors, I would say. And yeah, you have the Plasma styles as well, and it's a Breeze Plasma style, Vapor is normal. And yeah, I love the Breeze because it also follows the color scheme. color scheme to speak of, Gruffbox, I have that. So it's a very nice, comfy color scheme, I would say. You can get new color schemes from here. Just Gruffbox. Oops. Gruffbox. So, you have a couple of Gruffboxes here. I have this one. So Gruffbox Plasma Colors. I like that that one. All right, so I selected that, and then it follows the color scheme. It's also pretty cool, right? Yeah, I think I didn't change any other things here. So what did I change? So maybe let's go to files. Let's say you have, I'm playing around with emulation, and yeah, default, if you want to click on a folder, you have to double click, but maybe you can notice also here that single click now. And that is as well settings, workspace behavior. And here, clicking files or folders opens them. I prefer this option, especially when you only have the Screen Deck, if you only have the Steam Deck, you have it in your hand and you don't want to double tap, right? So if you just single tick it, then it gets selected. And you can, of course, also using the cursors, you can do a normal selection. So let's select the element. Yeah, but let's say here, I'm now controlling the Steam Deck. You cannot see it, but let's say files. And here, if you have now I have it selected. So you can still select it, and you can do that with the controls of the Steam Deck. And now I'm using the D-pad for it. And you can right click, for example, here. So using the Steam Deck. So you can still select, but like single click to open, very handy in my opinion. I really love that feature. And it's not the default, so why not? So very convenient in my opinion. And of course you can also do something with the animation speed, make it seem snappier if you move it more to instant, but I think the default is okay for me. All right, so next one. So maybe you saw it. So maybe it's a little bit choppy for YouTube, but see a little bit strange effect, right? It's a wobbly windows, wobbly windows. If you unselect that, hit apply. So this is the normal way windows move. And here, apply. See more like an effect, right? So you see it wobble a little bit. And you can also exaggerate. Let's say that's a little bit big window. No, but it works. So let's say you do more wobbliness. See, it's skewed, and yeah, but you can do it, but I don't think this is. And you see if you it wobbles like it's like a jelly pudding now. So I don't like that, but I like it a little bit playful, and I like that. And you can also do it when you maximize and unmaximize, that it wobbles a little bit, but I think this is the right setting for me. A little bit wobble, I like that. So and I also already showed you that if you open up a window, then it's zoop, like you have that effect, right? And that's incinerate, incinerate, burn my windows. So here you can do additional options if you want, and like I just showed you already. So incinerate, and there are a couple of others as well. If you want to play around with it. So there's quite a lot of desktop effects. You can have some fun there. So those are the two that I really use, and there's a couple of others as well. For example, if you minimize, I have the lamp, what is it called? Lamp shades or so, magic lamp. Yeah. Minimizing, and you can also, for example, let's say 100 milliseconds, or maybe that's already the timing, I don't know. Hop. So it's quite a little bit faster. So Yeah, but you can play around with that to your heart's content, I would say. Default. Let's leave it at default. Oh, the defaults are already quite good, I would say. All right, I have a couple of options I discussed. Let's say another one. Let's go to files again. If you have want to resize the window, then you have to travel with your cursor all the way here and then hope it snaps in place. And when you move it, you have to, of course, drag it here. But on Linux, if you press the Windows key, the mod, you can, now I do left click, I can move it from anywhere. So that's pretty powerful. And if you hold the Windows key again and right click, you can resize. Wow. So I really use that a lot because you don't have to go into the edge here and wait until the cursor changes, right? It's quite precise. So it saves a lot of time in that regard. And I think this is the last tip as well. So let's say you have the files here, you have a lot of files here. I think this is the most easy way to have quite some files in directory and also know the extension of the files. I know Linux really doesn't matter too much about extension, but still, yeah, maybe for good safekeeping you want to, or to indicate what file types they are, have the extension still, and also if you want to exchange files between Windows and Linux, that's easy to keep the extensions. So this is the view, and for this you have the view mode. What is it again? We need to right click here and view mode. So normal, I think it's the icons. This could be that you prefer this. I'm not a fan of this. But if you, and I think as well, the view mode details, you can also use that. And I increased the font size a little bit of that specific view, but I wasn't too happy as well with, just gives a lot of information, a little bit too much, but you can easily sort, of course, for example, on modified, if you want. But one downside, you really have to, you select the files, the whole line is selecting the file. So let's say you don't want to select the file, you need to travel here, if you get what I mean. So you don't have too much space as all file list. But if you view mode compact, and then I tweaked it a little bit, but this works for me. Let's say it like that. If you hold Control, you scroll, you can also change it. So I think I selected to this. All right. Oh, maybe a little bit bigger. Maybe like this. Yeah, I think it was like this. That's it. I come to the end of the video. So let me know in the comments below if you liked it, maybe missed something. And hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.